So on Friday, I believe that we kind of left off with this problem. Yes? 17,000. Did we finish it in this class? 17,000 milligrams to kilograms. I think this was example number 5. We finished it. So just as a recap from Friday, if you were absent or if you don't remember it because the weekend was in there. If you have two prefixes, okay, when we're dealing with a metric system, you will see me work these problems out, folks, going back to my base unit and then to my desired unit from there. I'm going to make it a 2-step problem. Some of you may be able to do it in 1 step, meaning you know what the conversion factor is, how many spaces you would move, what factors of 10 it would be, going from one to the other. That's fine. You can make it 1 step if you're comfortable. I've tried that in the past, and I've lost a lot of students when I do that, so I will tend to do this 2 steps. So I'm going to go from milligrams back to grams for my first step. Then I'm going to go from grams to kilograms. So what I did was I had what I always start out with my given, put it over 1. When we start multiplying by fractions, what you want to get is on the top, and what you have goes on the bottom. AKA, let your units drive your math. I didn't leave myself enough space. So I have 17,000 milligrams. The units are the most important piece of this. If you don't put your units in there, you're going to be lost. And I'm not going to be able to help you. Because when I come to help you, I'm looking at units. Did you cross them out? Did you cancel them out properly? That's the piece we're looking for. So milligrams needs to go on the bottom so it'll cancel out. Grams will be on the top. Milligrams are gone. My little quick reference that I tried to get you guys to follow on Friday was when you're dealing with a metric system with a fraction, okay, meaning this one right here that I just boxed, okay, when you have metric and metric with both of your units, the one that gets the one that has a prefix with it gets the number 1 always. Then we can go to our reference table, table C, and we can figure out what the base unit would get. So in 1 milligram is 10 to the minus 3rd grams. Okay? That should make sense. Milligram is smaller than a gram. So you should have a tiny number here when you are dealing with grams. You with me? Okay? Hopefully, kind of walking through it a second time today versus the first time on Friday, it's going to make more sense if it was confusing on Friday. Is grams what I want to get to in this problem? No, so I need to do another step. Again, some of you may have did it in 1 step. That's totally fine. Make sure you show your work. So if you make a mistake, I can, give you partial credit. Grams on the bottom, kilograms on the top. Grams will cancel out. Again, metric system. Both of my units in this fraction are in the metric system. So the one that has a prefix is going to get a 1. In this case, it's on top. Kilogram gets the 1. Grams gets 10 to the 3rd. Now all I have to do is do the math. Today, when we do some of this math, guys, it's going to look a little different. It may be a little confusing. So to keep it simple, multiply all your tops together. Okay, write a new fraction. So 17,000 times 10 to the minus 3rd, that's going to be 17. Our unit would be kilograms over 10 to the 3rd. Multiplied all my tops together, got a new numerator. Multiplied all my bottoms together, and I got a new denominator. Now I will do the division portion, and I get 0.017 kilograms. There's many different ways, guys, that you can do the math. You just have to know that you're multiplying by fractions. So every time you come to where that line is, then that T chart is multiplication. You're multiplying by fractions. Again, if you don't want to write it out as a T, like I do here, you can write it out like this. It'd be the same thing. 17,000 milligrams over 1 times 10 to the negative 3rd grams over 1 milligram. Milligrams are still going to cancel out. Times 1 kilogram. That's a terrible K, but you get the gist. Over 10 to the 3rd grams. Grams will cancel out. It's the same thing. I just do it as a shortcut method. You'll see people who work it out online that may just write a T-chart as well. Here we go. Start with what you know. 540 millimeters. Putting my 1 down there as a placeholder so I don't put anything else down there. No example we've done has anything below there. Okay? Then we're trying to get to decameters. So millimeters has to go on the bottom. Meters will go on the top. Millimeters will cancel out. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. Remember, in a fraction, and I'm dealing only with the metric system, I'm going to put a 1 with the prefix. So wherever you see a prefix, milli, kilo, whatever the prefix may be, put a 1 there. Then I would look up what number goes up here. 1 millimeter is 10 to the negative third meters. Meters is not where I want to end up. I'm trying to get to decameters, so I need another fraction. Meters on the bottom, decameters on the top. Oh, there's my prefix, so I'm putting a 1 there. Meters will cancel out. Now I'm going to go and look up what decameter, or deca, means, and that's what's going to go down here, 10 to the first. Now I can do the math. So, to keep it easy, multiply all your tops together. When I take 540 times 10 to the negative 3, 0.540 decameters, because that's the unit I have on the top, divided by 10 to the first is just 10. So then do the division. 0.054 is what I should end up with. Okay? Questions? Is it getting maybe a little clearer, a little easier? Okay? The units are the key piece, guys. If you don't put units there, you're going to be lost. Let's kind of move from metric to kind of go in between metric and English system. Okay? This I think you might find easier. So, we have to go 35 kilometers to miles. Follow the same process. Write down what you're given. 35 kilometers. Setting up my T-chart. Putting a 1 right there as a placeholder. I'm trying to get to miles in the end. Now, if you look on your metric chart, guys, is miles in that chart? No. Flip to the front page of your note packet. Page 1 if you haven't figured it out. You have a list of conversion factors there, guys, dealing with metric system to imperial or English system. Find the one that's dealing with relating miles to kilometers. Somebody read it out to me.
1 mile equals 1.609 kilometers.
1 mile equals 1.609 kilometers. What does it say around that conversion factor? Do you have to memorize those? No. Metric system, yeah, you know where to look. They're on your reference table, guys. These ones will be given to you. Okay? So there's your conversion factor. Can we go right from miles to kilometers directly? Meaning one step? Absolutely. All we got to do is get our units to cancel out. Kilometers on the bottom. Miles on the top. This is why I say it's easier to do this than the metric system. When we're going from this to this, guys, now it's just taking our two values. Ignore the prefix thing that I said, like 1 goes here. Whatever this tells you, match it up to your units. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. That's all we have to do. Now it's just 35 divided by 1.609. When you're only dealing with the metric system in a fraction, that is true. But now we're not dealing with a fraction, or excuse me, a metric system. So you're just going to match up the numbers. This is easier. Every year I tell myself I'm going to switch the order, and I really need to. Next year will be the year. Lucky number 7. Year 7 I will. I always forget until I'm in the middle of it. So 35 divided by 1.609. What do you get for an answer? Now, is that too many sig figs? Absolutely. So guys, when you're converting, you don't look at your conversion factors to tell you the correct number of sig figs. We're not looking in here, okay? What we're going to look at is our original number, our given. That's going to tell us how many numbers we're going to round to. How many sig figs does our original number have? 2. So we're going to round this to 2 sig figs. I'm looking here. Is 7 going to round up or down? It's going to round up. So my final answer would be 22 miles. Okay? Start again with what you know, what you're given. You have 2.31 pounds. Pounds are going to go on the bottom. Grams go on the top. Now I've got to look up on my English to metric conversion piece that you would be given. It says that 1 pound equals 453.6 grams. All you got to do is just match them up. 1 pound, 453.6 grams. That's it. One-step problem for this one. 2.31 times 453.6 gives you what? Okay. Now, is that proper sig figs? No. How many sig figs did my original number have? 3. So I'm going to look here at this number. 1, 2, 3. The fourth number then is what I'm going to look to round. Taking a round up or down? This is going to go up, so my final answer will be 1,050 grams. Notice, does that have 3 sig figs? Absolutely. Our sig fig rules say if there's a decimal in the number. Do I have a decimal in my number there? So I start from the right. This 0 is a placeholder. Those are 3 sig figs. I'm good. Okay? Remember, when in doubt, guys, you can always rewrite it in scientific notation. 1.05 times 10 to the third would be the same thing. Okay? Now, the next one, a little bit more challenging. 2 miles. I'm going to make this a 2-step problem based on the data that we're given. We said that 1 mile equals 1.609 kilometers. Now, some of you can do that conversion from kilometers to meters right in your head. If you made this a 1-step problem, absolutely okay. If not, like I'm going to do 2 steps, make it 2 steps. Miles goes on the bottom. Kilometers on top. Miles will cancel out. Up here, it said 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. I want to get to meters, though, so I need to take it 1 step further. Where does kilometers have to go to cancel out? On the bottom. On the top, I have meters. Now, I've got to look. In this fraction, am I dealing with just the metric system or metric and English? Just the metric. So my rule to figure out where my numbers go is I'm looking for the one with the prefix. The prefix always gets the number 1 when we're dealing with only the metric system. 1 kilometer is 10 to the third meters. Now, if I do the math, I should get 3,218 meters. How many sig figs did I start with? 1. So I got to round this to 1 sig fig. That's right here. 2 is going to round down. 3,000 meters would be my final answer. Not 3 meters. The ringing? It's the light. Yeah. I'm sorry. If I turn off all the lights, heads will start to crash down. All right? Now, before I give you guys your homework, we're going to kind of walk through a more challenging problem. Okay? This is example number 6, I believe, at the very bottom. Okay? 55 miles per hour. How do we write that numerically? Per hour. 55 what? Okay? But that per means what mathematically? So, changing it up, my apologies. That was a more challenging problem. We're not going to worry about that one right now. Guys, we have miles over hours. Okay? How many hours did it say? 1. This is the only time where our first fraction will get something below it, is if we're given a double unit. So when it says something per something, we won't see it a lot, but we might see it once or twice. Okay? And this is where this technique, you have to use this versus just multiplying in your head or doing division, like I know you probably could do and figure it out. These are the types of problems that are a lot more challenging, where this is the only method that will work for you. Well, that'll be the least amount of work for you. Miles per hour, we're trying to get to meters per minute. How do you think we're going to solve this? Okay. We have to do 1 unit at a time. We'll start with miles, guys. Miles is going to pair up with which of our final units? Meters. So miles is a distance, meters is a distance. We're going to ignore this 1 hour for right now. Okay? So cover it up with your hand and just say, okay, I'm only focusing on miles and getting it to meters. So that's what we're going to start doing. Let's go from miles to meters. Miles is on the top. Where does it have to go to cancel out? All right. Okay, miles on the bottom. Now, do we have the data given to us where it's miles directly to meters? No, we had to kilometers. Again, some of you can do that in your head. That's fine. 1 mile equals 1.609 kilometers. So kilometers will go on the top. 1 mile on the bottom. Miles are gone. Now we need to go kilometers to meters. Kilometers on the bottom, meters on the top. Okay, so I got my top unit. Good. Everything else canceled out. Miles is gone. Kilometers are gone. We're in meters. What's my bottom unit, though?
60.
Unit. Minutes. Okay? So, I need to go from hours to minutes. Cover up everything you've done at this point, guys, like you never did anything. And now we're just going to focus on hours. Well, hours is on the bottom, but this process still holds true. We need another fraction. We're just going to continue it along. Where does hours go to cancel out now? If it's on the bottom, it has to be on the top. So hours here, minutes will be on the bottom. Hours will cancel out. How are hours and minutes related? 1 hour, 60 minutes. So now we can write a new fraction, 55 times 1.609 times 10 to the third, divided by 60. Okay? We'll come back and do more practice with this week.